Hey traders, John Hall here. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the biggest thing that you need to, or the three things you really need to focus on in order to become a really good trader in the markets. So let's get straight into it right now. The thing that I see time and time again, I've been doing this now for 15 years, and trust me guys, I've gone through bloody hell and back with these markets, I tell you. But it's so good. Once you get on the other side, you can start to see, right, looking back. And this is what I mean. I'm trying to look back. Well, I am looking back right now and to share this with you, right? So what do most people focus on when it comes to trading, right? They focus on the strategy, right? The strategy, S-T-R-A-D. I'm going to call it strategy right now. You know what? I'm going to delete that bit. I can't spell this morning. All right, I'm going to put on S. So most people focus on the strategy, right? So that's and then most people say, oh, that strategy didn't work for me, or that strategy didn't work for me, that strategy didn't work for me. And one of the biggest things that I find is I actually believe that most strategies out there actually do work. It's you not working the strategy. Right? See, this is where if you're serious about becoming a good trader in the markets, then most people focus on the strategy. But what does it take for you to profitably trade that strategy? Now, firstly, you need to understand it, right? So you need to do your paper trading, your back testing, and to understand the system and so on and so forth, right? But the thing is this, right? The thing is this, is that let's actually have a look at this here. The very first thing here on this one over here, right? So the very number one over here, number one is what I call C-O-N. You've got to be consistent. A professional trader in the markets is consistent with his trading, right? So we have the strategy here, but what does consistent mean? Consistent mean he shows up every time the same time. When I'm trading the stock market, every day I show up and I trade the last hour of the stock market. That's my time. I'm looking for day trades. I mean, I'm looking to trade the market. I'm looking to generally be in the market for 1 to 5 days, sometimes a bit longer, depending on the setup. But then, my job is to show up every day and run my scans and look for trades that could potentially be a 1 to 5 day move for me. Looking on the daily charts, weekly charts, so on and so forth. When I'm trading the Forex and futures market, right, I trade that anywhere between 4 to 6 hours per day, but for 4 hours minimum. Right, so I get in. That's generally in the afternoon. That's generally in the afternoon for me. So 3 through to 4, 5, 6. Say around there. Say 3 through to say 6, say 7. Sometimes a bit longer, but that's my time, right? So the number one thing is that you've got to be consistent. So many people is like, I'm going to take today off, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And while time off in the market is important, for you to get consistent results, you need to consistently show up. And consistently do your scans, consistently look at the markets, right? So the number two here, is something that is just so important. I'm going to type in DIS here, which is discipline. This is the biggest thing that stops traders from not doing well in the market. And I tell you right now, literally 95% of your success is going to come from this. And this is what you really need to focus on in order to continue making progress in the markets. And only 5% that comes from actually understanding the strategy. This is the big differences here. This is the top 3 things, the top 3 steps in order for you to become a really good trader. And number 2 is discipline. Discipline simply means that 1, you're going to be consistent, you're going to show up every day. And number 2, you're going to be disciplined. What is discipline? Discipline simply means that my job is only to take this setup only. And if there's not a trade for a day or a week or a month, then I cannot take the trade, right? I'm going to be disciplined and only take my setups only. I'm not going to get frustrated or fear of missing out because a YouTube video said this. No, you're going to be disciplined. And number 3, which ties into discipline, is you're going to be patient. This is the biggest thing out there, patience. Patience. And what are you patient for? You're patient, and your job is to 1, be consistent, show up every day, 2, discipline, take those trades, and 3, you need to be patient in waiting for those setups through there. Make sense? So that's what you need there. It is the biggest. These are the top 3 things you need to focus on in order to make your strategy. Again, I believe most strategies out there actually work. Now, there is a thing here, right? There's a thing here, firstly, like, you know your edge when it comes to strategy. And then also there's also when you come to this is why I say it's so important every single month that you record every trade, record, review, and improve. Meaning every single month you're going to record the trades, and I guarantee you 80% of your losses came from at least one of these things here. It came from you not being consistent, you not being disciplined enough, meaning to just take those setups, and you not being patient enough. You may not have... See, when I'm trading the day, because when I trade the stock market, I'm getting up first, for me here in Australia, I'm getting up first thing in the morning, and I am trading, for me, first in the morning, I am trading the last hour of the stock market. So my job is to do that. And some weeks, like for me, for example, last week, I had no trades at all. I had to show up, I'd run my scans for an hour, do my scans, and trust me guys, I'm probably going between 300 and 500 stocks I'm scanning, and I'm going through and sorting through to see if there's any really, really good setups that I'm looking for. But my job is to continue to show up. But guess what? When it does show up, I get a high win-loss ratio. And what gives me a really good win-loss ratio is me being consistent, disciplined, and patient when it comes to this sort of setup here. And as long as I'm recording, reviewing, and improving, that I will get to my goals, you know, my overall goal. And so can you. But then you got to be honest with yourself. It's like, okay, how consistent was I last week or last month? How disciplined was I? How patient was I? And so on and so forth. You know, and also how many of the trades you actually took actually met the rules, and what was the win-loss ratio with those as well too. This is what it takes. This is the top 3 things, the biggest 3 things that you need to focus on in order for you to become a really, really good trader. And if you do this, you too can become a good trader. Most people just focus on the strategy. And what do? They take 2 or 3 trades. They may not even take those trades. They may have 2 or 3 losses. They say this strategy doesn't work. You know there's a win-loss ratio, right? This is the other part of trading. But you know there's a win-loss ratio, right? Like your strategy might be 60 or 70% right. That means 30% of the time you're going to have losers. Those 30% of the time losers could come straight away. But your job is to take a minimum. If you can do this 100% and you know it works on average, then your job is to take a minimum of 20 trades. 20 trades that meet the rules. This is why you got to have good risk management and money management on the trade. So when you're doing this, right, you need to take at least, that's 20%. You need to take at least 20 trades that meet the rules 100% of the time. And over those trades, you'll be able to start to see your win-loss ratio. And then again, over those trades, you probably a lot of those trades, you know, didn't meet the rules or whatever. And that's how you go back to record, review, and improve to actually start to do really, really well in the markets. And so this is what you need to focus on. It's not the strategy you have to worry about. The strategy is the easy part. Now, fine-tuning your entries when it comes to the strategy, yeah, every single month when you record, review, and improve, you can actually start to see, oh, look, I'm noticing something small or different. But this is the growth here. But what do most people do when it comes to this? And this is the reason why, this is the biggest thing that's stopping you over here, right? You have a strategy. They trade it for a little bit. They may have a few losses. They get frustrated. They don't be patient, consistent, record, review, improve, and then say this thing doesn't work. Then they go back and buy another strategy, and they keep repeating. But they just simply don't. Okay, how consistent was I? How disciplined was I? How patient was I? Was I actually getting in at the right time? And if you focus more on that and then trying to find the perfect strategy, because guess what? There is no perfect strategy. Every strategy has a win-loss ratio. And if you focus on that, then you can start to do really, really, really well in the markets. Be part of the 5% or the 10% of the people that actually do well in the markets, and focus on these with your strategy. After being mentored by 4 different 7-figure traders, I've realized they all have some things in common that actually help them do really, really well in the markets. So I'm actually putting on a free training where I'm going to walk you through the 7 simple but powerful universal laws to becoming a consistent profitable trader while achieving a very high success rate without spending 13 years trying to figure it all out. Plus, I'm going to walk you through the absolute details of my #1 trading system that I trade every single day. The very first link in the description, click on that and you'll be able to go check it all out and be able to go see this free training. And I'm going to walk you through every single detail of these 7 universal laws so you too can start to have the odds on your side. So go do that right now, and I'll see you on the next page.